What's going on, everyone? This is Vince from Life with Vince Lou, and in today's video, it is a conversation between some of the guys at my jiu-jitsu gym. It was shot last Friday, March 15th, afternoon class. Afternoon class on Fridays, we just usually have a little bit of a happy hour in the corner of the gym. There's a fridge, we just bring a couple beers, and we have a good time, good conversations, getting to know each other a little bit more. So hope you guys enjoy this video. Also, if you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing and give the video a thumbs up if you like the video.
Cool. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I came from, Jesus Christ.
It looks closer than it is.
No, I'm kidding.
Repeat.
So you're from Texas. Did you grow up in Texas?
I didn't grow up there, so I was from, born and raised, so east of Sacramento. I did karate my whole life. Yeah. And I came up in a cult. And the whole, if he takes you down, ground by the balls, ground by the eyes, do this, do that. And I was taught never to throw the first punch. So I got bullied my whole fucking life because I could never throw a first punch. So kids were just pushing me, spitting on me, tripping me, just talking shit to me constantly. And they're waiting for you to explode and bop them. And I was so strict, like, you can't throw the first punch, which is the stupidest fucking thing on the planet.
Call it what you will, but that takes a lot.
Yeah.
Always be first.
That now I'm always first. I haven't lost a fight since. You close the distance, like that's the start.
So what kind of scene? What's different about the California scene versus the Texas scene? Because I grew up in North Carolina, and I went to a McDojo for many years, and I was a purple belt.
Hey, don't talk about UFC.
And this guy was an Aikido instructor who decided to offer jiu-jitsu at his academy, right?
Oh, Chris.
Because it was just something that was, it was the thing to do.
Stop bullying.
And I was a wrestler, so I was better than the average person, but not very good, So I got a purple belt. I didn't get a white, didn't get a blue, I just got a purple belt because he was just handing belts out, Like his son was 16 and had a black belt.
Oh shit.
Like, so you can imagine what kind of McDojo this is.
I came for the same one. I got my black belt.
So then I come out here to California and I go to Denny's place in the city, and these guys are just murdering me. Like just destroying me. Like, all the white belts are just like passing me around like a $2 hooker, and it's just awful, right? And so I'm like, okay, nothing against $2 hookers, Everybody's got a budget.
So it's $1 hookers, fuck this.
So I'm like, I take my belt off. Yeah, and I'm like, forget this, right? Like, I can't wear this. This is embarrassing. So I'm like, I'm just gonna be a white belt and start all the way over,
right?
And then I started traveling. And no, I'm not.
He's wearing his blue belt and he's a fucking purple belt. Pete, it's part of the story, man.
It's part of the story, okay?
Part of the story.
So
I'm a black belt, right? So I came in with my white belt.
So I came out here, and just the level of jiu-jitsu and the level of instruction and the level of community is completely different. So is that something similar to what you experienced?
It's the exact same. It's the exact same. I got really lucky when I left my McDojo and moved to Texas. My very first, I was trying to find a karate school because karate was the only thing that worked. Fuck those UFC guys. All their technique is wrong. If they were doing karate, they would one punch, one kill. Vitor Belfort doesn't know what he's doing. That dude, he's just big. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Extremely pumped. Or at the very least, fairly pumped when you came across when these people like what's his name? Lyoto Machida came in, and Wonder Boy Thompson, right? I mean, those guys.
Yeah. Those are good karate guys.
Great karate guys.
If not for the most part, if not strictly, they're really essentially bringing in karate as a stance or as the tag game, Yeah. So it's been exciting for you. I mean, I can only imagine, right? No, because for a time there in the UFC, karate was all due respect, it was
because of them though. Like,
it was shit on.
People look
karate.
down on it. Yeah. I mean, just for lack of a better.
No, totally.
Yeah.
So. Because it really was it was the trifecta. It was jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, and Western boxing.
Yeah.
If you could do Western boxing, Muay Thai, and jiu-jitsu, you were a competitor.
Right.
And so everyone focused on that. And then what? I think Machida hit the scene.
Machida hit the scene.
And he has this bouncy
Joe
style.
Rogan called it the Machida era.
Right.
Yeah, right. He's got this bouncy toe, like point fighting kind of style, like pop, pop out, pop, pop out, and nobody had really seen that before. So he was getting these like one punch knockout things, right?
Right.
So that's exactly what you were talking about. So it can be effective if it's done by the right practitioner, right?
It can be effective if they know how to check a leg kick.
So you're saying people, a lot of people, if not all, but a lot of people caught on to it.
Oh yeah.
Right?
You were a cheater, a purple belt, competing as a blue belt?
Yeah. No, but yeah, a lot of people, I'm sure, studied Machida State because, you know, he started getting really famous for being difficult to deal with because of that style. So people caught on, yeah, man. I mean, I'm not saying it's easy to master karate or the defense against it.
You have to have it all, is really what it comes down to. You have to have it all. You can't just be a jiu-jitsu player with no wrestling. You can't just be a wrestler with no jiu-jitsu. We've progressed to the point where it's athlete versus athlete. We're past the mysticism of style versus style. We're in the next era. It's athlete versus athlete at this point.
That said, fact remains, karate, if you're very good at the point, what do you call it? Because there are like 3 different types, right? Yeah. It is hard to deal with because it's in and out, right? Boom, 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 right?
There it goes. Yeah.
Oh, it's cool, man. I mean, yeah, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is just something else.
Outstanding.
Something else.
But the jiu-jitsu here, like just the culture of it, I love it, man. Like people like. You know, you see people with dogs, you know, coming in, and we're drinking beer and we're hanging out, like, and we train hard and we train really good, and it doesn't take away from it all. It just it kind of adds to it. It's kind of the whole California culture. Like, I feel like LA can sometimes be like nightclubs and bottle service and bullshit, but like California
before. So
I lived there for a little bit.
You went from Texas
To LA. Yeah.
And then from LA to here.
I know. I'm not.
How are you not
Honestly,
sleeping in a tent right now?
I'm all broken right now.
And so this gym is extremely different than a lot of other gyms, and I hop gyms for quite a bit of time. I went to UFC, I went to Crispin's place, I went to Half's place, I went to a lot of different places. And so the thing that I love about this gym is exactly what you mentioned, is the community. And you have a lot of different personalities, everyone works really hard, no one lets you get by with any kind of weak ass bullshit, and everyone tries to push each other to be the best person they could possibly be.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, is the team that I was looking for years, you know? And even my wife noticed that.
There you go.
And she was like, your attitude when you were over at UFC and your team is completely different than your attitude and the way that you treat these guys over here.
Work on that arm. Pull it
She's
across
like, I
your
see
body.
a lot more family
right now.
here,
Right now.
and
Posting
willingness
on you
to
right
hang
now.
out with each other, versus you were at a gym that just so happened to offer jiu-jitsu.
Try walking your shoulders
So the
back.
big difference is that
Walk with your shoulders back.
this gym is more focused on not only jiu-jitsu but community. Bryant offers yoga, he offers, you know, mental health classes. We had one last Saturday where we had a sports psychologist come in and talk to us about how to prep for competition, you know? We have all these different opportunities to make you a good jiu-jitsu competitor, like an all-around competitor. And I feel like, to me, that's the big difference about California jiu-jitsu versus the rest of the United States, and the difference between this gym specifically, because you have a lot of choices. And you know, what drew you to this gym versus any of these other gyms?
Well, what drew me to the gym was
Tell me about
just like referrals, right? But because I've gym hopped, I've been tons of places. Everything that you're saying, I can pretty much parrot it. What you're saying is spot on for this place. A lot of places actually aren't like that. And I haven't hung out with people. I've been coming here like a week, maybe a week and a half if I'm lucky. But everyone's been great to me, and I can tell like an immediate difference. And like it's almost like a culture, like a family that you guys are building here. Like it's really special and it's really unique, and I haven't found that. I always thought I was the oddball out. maybe it was the gyms were the oddball out.
Definitely the gym.
I always thought it was me though, because how many gyms can you go to where you're not clicking and making friends? At some point you're like, it's me, I'm the asshole. And then so you finally do find a cool group of dudes, finally after years of training, and you go, oh, maybe I'm not an asshole, maybe, you know, yeah. This is a good spot, man.
Because it's not necessarily that it's just a room full of douches and what have you, dicks or whatever. Sometimes it's just an academy where their mind's just on competition and they mean business 200% when they're on the mats, and there's nothing wrong with that. But as a result, you get the vibe of just gritty, you know what I'm saying? Kind of narrow-minded folks, whatever.
I always like to say that, you know, you have hobbyists and you have competitors, and like I find myself like I'm very much I'm a hobbyist that enjoys competing, you know, like I'm not a competitor, you know, Bailey, Dre, like a lot of Sean, like a lot of these guys, they're competitors. They're in a little group, but they do not exclude anyone. Like if you want to roll with them, if you want to do comp rounds, if you want to go hard, you are more than welcome. You know,
of course, credit also to our professor, to Brian, because he set that kind of vibe.
It's like a company. Culture comes from the head down, and maybe it's him being such a cool dude. That really has to be it. It has to be the secret. He's so freaking cool.
Brian is his competitive drive. His focus is there. I mean, it's there. We were only so lucky that we have a professor like that. We get inspired by it.
Sometimes it comes with a lack of character. He doesn't have the lack of character. I don't know where that, because I don't know him that well. So
at the same token, at the same time, he's setting that vibe where, hey, come here, not because you have to, but because you want to, because you're having fun, because you want to be here. And I think, I'm not saying that you know, it's hard to find someone like that, but we're lucky we ended up with someone like that.
It is hard to find someone like that. I think it is, personally.
In fairness to all the other people who make the effort to be that way, but you know, we're lucky that we ended up here.
And I ended up here because of Thomas, which is one of our teammates here, and me and him used to go to a different gym. And I connected with him really well. He was the only guy that my wife felt comfortable with doing jiu-jitsu with.
Oh, that's a big deal.
And that was a huge deal to me. That meant a lot to me, you know. And now I have to start all over again because I have to try to get her to come here, and it's just different. And so when he came here, I really kind of questioned. I was like, all right, well, you know, what am I doing at this old gym? You know, like there's this one guy who I really connected with, and now he's moved gyms, but I don't want to abandon this other team. But at the same time, like if he was the heart of what I was feeling and he moved, I gotta move with that too, because obviously he's not gonna make a bad choice. Like he's gonna make a good choice. And so I followed him. And I really enjoyed it. And it started out with open mats. And like I would come, he would invite me on Sunday. I would come and I kind of meet the people, and everybody was super nice, and people were very welcoming and understanding, and it was just like, and Bryant was like, look man, just come as much as you want. Whenever you decide this is your jam, then you can pay me. Like you can come as much as you want, but once this is your jam, then you pay me. But if it's not your jam, that's cool. And that kind of like approach to sales was very attractive to me. Because then I could really truly make a choice, like this is my gym. This is a good gym for me.
You know, I'm trying to get my girlfriend in here. She's really busy, she works a lot, but this is the only gym that I've really wanted her to be like a part of, because I think if I can get her in here, I actually think it will make our relationship stronger. Having her here and having us spend time together in this type of environment, I mean, that's one hell of a sale in itself. Like I really think it will make us become closer. I really do. So it's just kind of putting her work schedule to the side and figuring out when I can get her in here. And the second I can get her in here, everyone I've met's been so great. I know she'll start making time to be in here.
The females here,
outstanding.
Super strong, super alpha, really understanding, very like like a good group of girls and women to work with. And sometimes when you go into a gym, their females are either super aggressive because they have something to prove, or they're super passive because everyone else is shitting on them, you know? And so they don't feel like they have a voice. Yeah. And I feel here, the females have a voice, and they have their own jam, and they have their own thing that they can contribute to the culture of the gym, and people celebrate that.
Dude, their skill is high. I actually judge a place, how I judge a school when I walk in. I always know I'm at a shit school. Like, oh, you do jujitsu? Oh, come here. Yeah, we're gonna have you have a partner, and they bring me a guy who's like 320 pounds. Like, oh, your school sucks because you're trying to prove that you can smash me with the biggest guy here, which means nothing. I look at the smallest person and I judge their skill, and if the small person's a killer, and the first role I had here was with one of the girls in Nogi, and she was so slick and her technique was so on point, I went, the rest of my day is gonna be real hard. Her skill was so high, I'm like, this is gonna be a hard day, and it was a hard day.
That's pretty much how it happened with me. A little bit more elaborate. When I first time I tried a class, I rolled like 5 times, and probably only once did I hold up fairly okay. With the rest of the time, I just got murdered. And a couple of those guys were my size or a little smaller. MD being one of those people. Man. And then as I was walking out, as I was approaching the counter where Bryant was, I was like, "How'd it go, sir?" I was like, "Yep." When you felt like you're about to die, that's the school I want. Right? So, I mean, you know, again, that's your mind. If you go to a school and it appeals to you because you dominated everybody, then you're
at the wrong school.
Some things your approach is not up to par.
Yeah. What does that mean? What does that meme say? Like, if you're the best guy on the mat, you're on the wrong mat.
Yeah. Like, no, exactly, yeah.
Which is really good. This is Thomas, by the way. This is the guy that I've been talking about in third person.
While he sits here. He's one of the good-hearted murderers here.
No,
yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's scary. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, no, I was and it's just kind of. I was there for 8 years.
Like a lot of guys
the first 8 years. A program there was the jiu-jitsu program, because they actually brought in like world-class black belts to teach the program, so that's why I stayed so long. And then, like, you know, stuff happened there, and then like Brian was one of the black belts who came in. He taught there for a little bit. He was one of my first instructors, and then when I came here, like, he was just like, yeah, come on, like, it's fine. So and then ever since I've been here, it was just kind of like it was so much better, like, you know what I mean. So and Brian will do like anything for you, like if you like
he seems to be outstanding. I've known him for such a minuscule amount of time, but it just everything about him is verbal communication, his non-verbal communication, his timeliness, just everything about him radiates. This is a good person to surround yourself with, like a good leader, you know.
Like, if people think like he gets a lot of criticism from like the old, because a lot of the black belts are the old school black belts, and Brian gets a lot of criticism because I still don't understand why. But
haters gonna hate.
Yeah, like I don't know, like he just gets a lot of criticism, and I don't understand why, because I mean a lot of people think, oh, he's just a competition school, like, because a lot of people here compete, and but if you come here, it's like he doesn't push anyone to compete. They just want to compete because they feel like
on the mat. Like,
they feel like it.
Roll most places. By the second or third round, there's more people lined up against that fucking wall than not.
Yeah.
It's rare for me to see people lined up against the wall. It's maybe one or two out people.
Nobody wants to be that guy.
No, everyone pushes everyone. Everyone just says, no, just come on, we'll go light. They're lying to you. They're lying, saying we'll go light. They're lying. They're fucking liars. But they say it and they pull you out to the middle of the mat. Smashing.
No, but yeah, like I train hard, but like
It's totally different.
but after like I have not had my belt wet every single class until I came here.
Yeah.
Like I've had my belt like soaked before, but like every single class, my whole gi is like here. It's like, and people are like, oh, they just know how to roll. Like Brian just has you roll all the time. It's like, no, it's just you
The love of jiu-jitsu.
He'll show you technique, and
It's only one or two.
it's maybe 2, maybe 3 variations, and then but he's more of a here's the technique, like I showed you the right way, and then you need to apply it. Like you need to like do specific training. You need to roll hard. You need to, you know what I mean? You know, it's really. And his gym is open to everybody, really. Like it's like everyone can train. Like it doesn't matter who you are. Like you know
I
what
also
mean?
think that it's important too that, like someone like myself who is more of like I'm a casual who enjoys to compete, but like I'm not a competitor, you know. And he still treats me with the same respect as someone who is a sponsored athlete. And
You're doing a lap dance in your head.
Well, so when you say respect, one of my favorite quotes that I ever heard was from George St. Pierre, and I'm sure he got it from someone else because he just reverberates wisdom. But he said, "Showing respect is not for the person; it's showing respect for yourself. It's a reflection of you, not necessarily them." So when he's showing respect to everyone, regardless of a hobbyist, a first timer, a purple belt who really needs to be a white belt on the mat, or a sponsored athlete, he's really showing respect for himself. That's that character. That's that captain that's walking around.
I respect Cleve a lot because he's rich. I mean,
I'll do it.
I mean, you gotta hand it to the guy. He's 32 years old and he's quasi-retired. I mean, I respect that.
I did okay.
Yeah.
Did okay.
You're 32? No.
I just turned 33. I just turned 33 on Tuesday.
That's fine.
So yeah, so it was my birthday. That's why everybody's giving me shit.
Oh, nice.
No, it's okay. No, I just did good. I was in the right place at the right time and sold the right company at the right time. That's all.
man.
That's all.
Very cool.
It's it took many years.
Now you can focus on jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, just took quite a few years.
And wrestling.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Cool, man. I'm
learning.
call it a day, guys.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. That was a Saber Jiu-Jitsu, a conversation between
All the good people.
2 brown belts and 3
A purple belt trying to become a white belt.
2
Purple to
2 browns,
way to white.
2 purples, 1 blue, and me, a white belt. But I didn't say anything. I was just trying to soak everything in, you know. Wisdom was I was just trying to soak it in. So thanks for watching or listening. So see y'all soon.